It is the Fatboy Show on your number one station, RX Radio, and what interesting times we're living in. Times are hard. It's very challenging. But if you were to go to church, they would tell you, don't worry. Do you know what's causing you all those problems? It's the demonic forces. It's Satan. It's the devil. It is the devil standing in the way of you and the prosperity that God has already ordained for you. So what you need to do is to pray more, tithe more, and fast more, and everything will be fine. But if you want special spiritual cleansing, come talk to me after. And in the case of Pastor Denis Ssenyonga, to a couple that approached him requesting for spiritual cleansing, he said it'll cost them 500 million. And the people paid this money. Bishop Hans Brabdt and his wife Ragnhild something, very complicated names. They claimed that they were being haunted by demons, which could only be defeated through a sacrifice of 500 million shillings. This is what Pastor Ssenyonga told them. And so this bishop reportedly withdrew the money from a bank in Jinja, and then he handed it over to the pastor. Police later arrested and detained Pastor Ssenyonga for obtaining money and goods under false pretense before releasing him on bail. They're currently searching for the two alleged accomplices, a Ugandan woman and a Macedonian man. The couple was convinced to visit Uganda to help orphans, and they were introduced to Pastor Ssenyonga by Barbara Kansime and some other person as a prophet who could perform miracles and prophecy about people. The pastor allegedly frightened the couple by revealing their past and their challenges, and then convinced them to pay a large sum of money for spiritual cleansing to remove a blood curse and a death mark that would cause death to them.
Okay.
I would like to say that this pastor is not guilty of a crime at all.
Well, he did obtain money under false pretenses.
You see, that's the clincher. How is it false pretense? Because if this is false pretense, then any other spiritual intervention that is ever suggested by any church anywhere is also false pretense.
You see, probably the couple needed proof that, okay, it is said that he told them some things that happened in their past. Okay? So, but did he confirm to them that there was a demonic powers chasing them or hovering over them?
See,
did
that's
he
the
prove
point.
that?
See, that's the point. It's unprovable. And you go to any church, they will say, we shall pray for you, you will be healed, we shall pray for you, you will get blessings. When has it ever been required for a church to prove that its spiritual interventions are effective?
The difference between Pastor Ssenyonga and his cronies is that they ask you to pay, like he told them, pay 500 million Uganda shillings. As in, who does that? That is way out of hand. And I think after this couple talked to some people,
absolutely not.
Because in other churches, this is what they are going to tell you. They will tell you maybe you need to give a special offering. They won't tell you the amount. It is up to you to decide on the amount you want to give. Is it 10K, 5K, 1 million, 10 million? It's up to you.
Because the way...
But then there is someone saying, like some pastor who used to be along Entebbe Road, who used to say that Abizayo simply meaning that he returns, the demonic powers to wherever they came from. And he used to charge depending on how big your problem is. And of course, eventually it was found out that he was a con man. And this pastor did the same thing.
Let me tell you, if this pastor gets a good lawyer, he's getting off. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because
why?
the problem is under false pretense. Establishing that is going to be very challenging. How are you going to prove that? How is the prosecutor going to prove that he was masquerading under false pretense? Because he's preaching a message that is commonplace. So pastors all over the country preach that demons are tormenting you, and that you have generational curses, that you have to
but
pray
are they
for it.
Literally charging people money, now, and millions of money?
So the challenge will be establishing the language used when they were being propositioned. Because if a pastor were to say, if you contribute more to the glory of God, so too your blessings will be more.
Okay.
In other words, it's an implication The pastor is suggesting to you that you better not give me scraps.
And that's what I was saying.
You get it?
It's usually up to you to say, because I need a miracle offer, I need a miracle of this stature, maybe this is what I'll give, and it is up to you to decide. So in the event that he actually asked for 500 million, if that is the language he used, then he's culpable. As in,
But it's like
how
a
are
girl
you selling miracles? How do you do that?
But it's like a girl saying to a man, honey, I love you, give me 50 million. If you give her the money and then she runs off with another man, is she a criminal?
But you see, you don't tell a man, I love you, give me money. No. You tell a man you love him, you act like you love him, you do things to make him think that you love him, and then he will, out of his own volition, say, Oliver's proved beyond a reasonable doubt that she's into me. Why not? 50 million is just pocket change.
I just think it'll be challenging for the prosecution to establish or to prove that there was fraud in this instance. Not because I think that there's miracles. I'm an atheist. I think it's all a scam. But what I'm saying is that you can't prove that in court, especially when the vast majority of the population believes in the concept of religion and spirituality. Unless a scientist is going to say spirituality is BS, there are no spirits, there are no demons, only then can you say,
no, I don't think
someone was being lied to. But if the pastor said, well, God spoke to me and said, hey, help this man, but let him know that this is going to have to be his contribution, I don't see how you can prove that was fraudulent.
And that's the beauty about the law, because they have angles. The angle you're thinking about may not be the actual angle they may come through to collect their 500 million. They might use something else. They might come up with another case almost related, and it puts this down. You know, they normally refer to other cases that have happened in the past.
All right, I guess we shall see. But I'd really have to wonder about this couple to be willing to part with 500 million.
500 million? These are not Africans. We normally think that people of lighter skin have more brain matter than we do. What happened?
How could he have convinced them and this whole thing of he told them about their past, I mean, that was so easy. He would have only just had to
talk to someone that knows them.
And pastors do this a lot. Like in their communities, they send out spies.
Or someone brought the deal to the pastor. This is what has happened to them in the past. I'm going to bring them here and make it look like... that is.
So you're like, how did he know?
How did he know? Oh my goodness! Just like some people say, on Sunday it will be. What will be the date next Sunday?
Next Sunday
is going to be 23rd, and the pastor will stand in church and say, one of these days, it will be 23rd, and it will be a Sunday.
I'm making fun of remnants.
I said nothing. There will be Formula One, and one person is going to win.
People like to say the prophet has prophesied that a famous actor is going to win the Oscars. But of course.
And in a certain month, we will have grasshoppers.
Oh, God has spoken.
Oh my God. And you're like, oh my goodness, yes.
Okay, but
before I was born, my mom knew I was a girl.
These prophets will be the end of us. But they say a fool and his money are soon parted. And this fool lost his 500 million. I am convinced that the pastor is going to get off scot-free. And if he doesn't, it means his lawyer was lousy. But we shall see.
We shall see.
And we'll continue to keep you updated. Keep listening to your number one station, RX Radio.